It turns out justice isn't so blind after all, especially if you're a woman who's easy on the eyes. In general, studies have found that good-looking people have less difficult lives. This goes for the workplace as well as the justice system. For example, juries are less likely to find attractive defendants guilty. However, a 2019 study published in Psychiatry, Psychology, and Law found that this only holds true for conventionally attractive women, while good-looking men don't reap the same benefit.
Gosh, your concepts are really interesting, Mr. Young.
Thank you.
So your bail is $20,000.
And the jury's still out on sentencing. Some research bolsters the idea that attractiveness affects whether a defendant receives a more lenient sentence. But the comprehensive 2019 study found that the bias towards attractiveness actually ends at that point. Judges are not more likely to give attractive women probation rather than jail time, for example. The 2019 study found attractiveness does not appear to be significantly associated with the odds of being incarcerated or being sentenced to probation. While researchers have yet to determine exactly why attractive people are treated more leniently by the criminal justice system, studies on attractiveness in general point to a hidden bias towards good-looking people. For example, the 2019 study concludes, attractive people are perceived as being more intelligent, more socially competent, more mentally stable, and more trustworthy. This is known as the halo effect of attractiveness, and it appears to be an unconscious bias. Researcher Sandy Taylor, PhD, told Psychology Today, people who are physically attractive are assumed to be clever, successful, and have more friends. It is tragic in a way. Taylor says that bias in favor of physically alluring people often has real-world implications because looks aren't an indicator of true character, and this unconscious bias towards beauty starts early.
Here he is!
Oh, yeah!
Children deemed more attractive get a leg up academically, receiving more hands-on help from teachers, and being judged as having more potential than less attractive children. It's no surprise that this continues into the professional world. According to a 2017 study published in the journal Behavioral and Brain Sciences, physically attractive individuals are more likely to be interviewed for jobs and hired, they are more likely to advance rapidly in their careers through frequent promotions, and they earn higher wages than unattractive individuals.
Can I get you anything, Mr. Trainer? Coffee, tea, me?
This bias can also be found in the justice system, where interactions most often start with the police. And if you're a conventionally attractive woman, you're less likely to be arrested. Police have a lot of leeway in deciding who to arrest in the absence of glaringly obvious evidence of a crime, and an attractive woman may get a pass. The researchers in the 2019 study believe this has to do with the fact that there are, in general, more male police officers on the job.
Do you really have to give us a ticket?
Jurors, too, may fall prey to the halo effect and give unwarranted credibility to an alluring defendant's testimony. The opposite holds true for attractive men, again, likely due to the male-dominated law enforcement field. When it comes to arrests, all men are created equal. Good looks don't help a guy's chances of avoiding criminal charges.
Look, can we get this underway? I mean, we were all in that courtroom. What is there to discuss? It's obvious he did it.
Unlike conventionally attractive people who get outsized benefits from childhood on, for those deemed unattractive, the opposite is true. It begins at school, when these children receive less help from teachers and are deemed less academically gifted, and this bias continues into the job market.
Oh, look! The Supreme Court!
They're so smart.
Yeah.
But with the justice system, those considered unattractive have it even worse. A 2010 study published in the journal Behavioral Sciences and the Law found that defendants who don't fit traditional beauty standards are 22% more likely to be convicted, and those who are convicted end up with longer sentences than the beautiful people, nearly 2 years longer. The study blamed this in part on jurors who went with their guts rather than taking an analytical approach to the evidence. According to the study, jurors were just as likely to convict a conventionally attractive defendant as someone considered unattractive when faced with strong evidence. But, as the 2010 study's lead author, Justin Gunnell, told the Cornell Chronicle, a less attractive defendant could end up worse off, quote, in cases where the evidence is ambiguous and the charged offense is somewhat minor. Unfortunately, as in other aspects of life, people considered conventionally attractive do indeed face fewer legal consequences.